I think what's important for us here is, while we shouldn't raise our expectations and we shouldn't necessarily expect that the ICC will suddenly open an investigation, proceed to trial. That will take a long time. It's very likely that the Philippine government will not cooperate with the ICC, even if it's legally bound to cooperate. But I think there are going to be political as well as very personal repercussions on the people who might be subjected to charges at the ICC. Remember, the prosecutor, even before she opened the examination, issued a press statement warning not just one person in the Philippine government, but she warned high officials of the Philippine government that have been inciting and inducing the commission of extrajudicial killings against Filipinos. So she's not thinking of just one man or one woman, but several persons. And these persons have families. These persons have families and themselves. They love to travel. They love to go on trips to the Middle East, also hundreds of them. These are, Jordan, for example, is a party to the ICC treaty. These are situations that have repercussions, travel, assets abroad, that it might matter that cases are opened even if the ICC case itself doesn't proceed to trial. And even for certain countries that are not party to the ICC, for example, the United States, the US government does take the effort to, of course, promoting its own agenda, but nonetheless does take the effort to examine corruption and human rights violations committed by foreign leaders. It has, for example, something called the Global Magnitsky Act. It's a long story,
it's
but
the Russian.
that's the Magnitsky Act.
Okay.
That applies to Russians.
Russia.
But a separate law was filed called the Global Magnitsky Act, similar to that, that allows the State Department to identify foreign leaders suspected of corruption or charged, not formally even, but suspected of committing human rights violations, allowing the US government to restrict visa issuances to these persons and their families and to freeze their assets abroad. They've done this now for, say, the leaders, the president of Nicaragua and his family, certain other people in Syria and their families. So very selective, but nonetheless something that should be in the minds of Filipinos as well, especially those who live in the United States.